All right, we talking about racist teachers today, man. Go ahead on and buckle up. You feel me? And hype me up.
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.
For instance, I went to a training session which was called How to Teach Black Boys.
And what was the out of interest? What did they teach you? How do you?
First of all, let me stop it right now. If it ain't actually care about them learning, putting them in a environment that will actually be helpful for them to learn, and don't discount them from the beginning, start them earlier with resources, then yeah, you'll have a good time. But bro, they ain't doing that.
You teach black boys rather than just boys in general.
It's essentially because these boys are black, you have to have lower expectations for them. That was the gist of it. You can't expect them to sit down. You can't expect them to, for a long period of time, you can't expect them to sit down and do what was called a long write. You can't expect them just to sit down and read. They're more active. This is a black woman who delivered the seminar. And I remember at one point, as I felt my urine gently bubbling with rage, I put my hand at the end and I went, she went, any questions? And I went, yeah, I've got a mate who teaches at Eton. There's black boys who go to Eton. Do you reckon they're getting taught this at Eton? She was like, no, but she came up with something. But it's just the point. It's what Anura Bevan said. It's the bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah, I mean, it's racism, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, it's absolutely racist.
And within that, there's the idea that, all the stats show that black kids from the Caribbean, black boys from the Caribbean, don't do very well. Black African kids do pretty well, and yet call them all black and treat them all as dummies. That's racist.
Of course it is. One of the highest achieving subgroups in education is West African girls. For instance, I went to a training session which...
I was reading this book. It's called Boys Adrift. In general, boys kind of think that they don't like school from the beginning because a lot of times teachers show favoritism to little girls. Real talk, dead ass serious. And don't couple that with the fact that they're black boys, so they're definitely getting hit with the double whammy. But psychologically, girls' brains are primed to read and learn how to write a year earlier than most boys are. So when the little boy is in kindergarten, he ain't even ready to start learning all of that stuff on average. But he's expected to. That's the gist of the book. And I believe that because when I was in school, I hated school, bro. It wasn't that I couldn't learn. It's just that it wasn't nothing that I wanted to do. I think I'm a pretty smart guy for the most part.
Hi. Noah, right? Yeah. I thought so.
Y'all don't speak to the black student in this? Now y'all seen that lady not speak to the goddamn black students?
Used to it. And them not saying excuse me.
She didn't say that to me. Let me tell you something. When other ethnicities come to African American, you need to treat them the same way. You spoke to all the white people, all the Indians, all the Asians, but when we walk past and spoke to them, you just ignore that. Yeah, you need to treat the black people as well. We ain't gonna do no racism. Yeah, just how I just peeked in here, you ain't say nothing to me, but as soon as you see the little Chinese people, you guys are welcome to come. You ain't say that to me.
Because you're not welcome to her.
Yeah, don't do that.
Hey, good morning.
What's up, man?
It's that simple, bro.
Byron. Not at the bottom.
Hi, friends. We're not doing that. Hi, what are you doing? What are you doing?
All right, try.
I know where you bought that from. Someone illegal.
What is this bitch tripping about?
What y'all rate it? 1 out of 10?
Where'd you get it from?
My mama.
No.
Yeah. What you think? You think I'm selling drugs?
I don't think that's drugs. Cake.
Byron.
If this ain't the teacher from Everybody Hates Chris, I'd be surprised, bro. Like, what in the world? From somewhere illegal. Dog, I'm telling you, this how they view y'all kids. Our kids.
Check this out. You know, as black people growing up, a lot of us actually had racist teachers in our schools that really tried to fuck with us. I remember one case myself, personally, when I was in an English lesson, my English teacher, when we was doing a bit of languages in our lesson, one lesson we did French, you know, talk about the language, we would hear some videos and so forth, and would write the text. I did enjoy French at the time. A couple of weeks later, we did Italian. Again, we'd write in Italian. We'll try and speak the language. Very basic, because it wasn't a full lesson on languages. We just kind of skimmed over it. But can somebody explain to me why my teacher thought it'd be a good idea to do patois the following week? And I'm the only black kid in the class, if not the whole school. And this
y'all don't know what that is. Patois is like the dialect Jamaicans speak. I think is like a combination of like, you know, French, Creole, English. It's all blended together. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what that is.
So this is an English Jewish lady who decided to do this. And I'll never forget that lesson. Everybody ripped into the language patois. I must have been about 11 or 12 years old, and I've got the whole class looking at me saying, yeah, man, bomber class, yeah, man, yeah, man. And they ripped into the language. And after that lesson, I just got ridiculed. For that whole month, I was just fighting people. I was wilding out. The whole month, I was wilding out. Because my teacher thought it would be a good idea to do patois. And she was mocking the language. She was laughing as well. And what made it even worse, after the lesson, she held me back and she said, Kevin, how did I do? And this is just one example of teachers that were really digging into kids and really mocking them to try to, you know, set an example of them to make them feel that they're less than. So as parents now, when we grow up, these are the things that we try to protect our kids from and how to navigate the school system. Black kids were ridiculed to the hilt in certain situations. So now when we're adults and we don't trust systems and authority, it actually comes from situations like this, because school was meant to be a place where you're supposed to feel safe, not ridiculed. But for a lot of black men, it was an unsafe place.
Look, it was definitely an unsafe place for me for the simple fact I was a target when my mom and them sent me to a school that had more white people than black people. I was a target, dog, straight up. I could get in trouble for something that all of the white boys was doing right in front of the people who's supposed to punish them, and they wouldn't get ridiculed. I would get sent to the office. I was the one in school suspension. I was the one that had the UPCs. That's a suspension until your parents have a conference with them. I'm the one in detention and all that kind of stuff, bro. You know, it's because them people are racist. I don't care.
By far, one of the worst things about being a teacher in Chicago was hearing the way that other teachers would break down their students. And there absolutely was a racial element to this. Unfortunately, it was primarily white teachers, black and brown students, very condescending and very rude. And nowhere was this more apparent than being in the teacher's lounge, going in between classes and trying to get like an opportunity to read or drink coffee, and hearing teachers call their students promiscuous. Or we hear them talking about how they're always late to school and how they should be more responsible when there are obviously other factors at play there. Hearing teachers say that they hate the schools that they're teaching in, the inner city schools, because it attracts certain types of students. And again, a lot of these things are pretty subtle to the point where you really need to take into consideration what are they actually saying and read between the lines, because they always try to make it seem like you are the crazy one for calling them out. That's why they speak in code, because they know as teachers that they shouldn't be talking about their students' sex lives or making comments about their outfits or their appearances or calling them derogatory terms like ghetto. And oftentimes it was the teachers who had been there for 10, 20, 30 years who felt that they had job security and could say whatever the fuck they wanted because of it. So anyways, do not do this. If you're a white teacher, please call it out, because it's despicable.
Hey, bro, I just be wanting to know what white people think they would do if they was subjected to the things that these black kids were subjected to, because New Orleans is one of these segregated places. I see what I would see if I'm leaving the 9th Ward. But I see what the kids was seeing if they leaving Lakeview. If you're leaving Lakeview, you're seeing boutiques, nice manicured yards, people with expensive cars, nice big ass houses. You got a coffee shop here. You have Trader Joe's. You have Whole Foods. You have all of these nice things. And then if you're a kid who coming from the 9th Ward, all you got is a corner store, a liquor store. It's trash everywhere. It's not a great place to be trying to become the best person that you could possibly be. The resources are limited. Everything is against you. Abandoned businesses, knocked down, blighted properties. This is what you see on a daily basis. And then you got to go to school with a positive attitude. Come on, man. That don't make no sense. But y'all act like y'all be special. Like if you was put in the same situation, you'll be able to pull yourself up out of it. I doubt that you would, but it is what it is, though.
We have to be careful because these teachers be racist as fuck too. I'll never forget in like 4th grade, I was friends with this girl named Ashley Snap, and this was the first time I had ever had my hair flat ironed or whatever. So, I'm just really good day, whatever. She comes up to me and she's wearing a skirt. And she's like, do you like my new skirt? And I've always been the type, like, I just joked with other people the way that my siblings joke with me. So when she asked me if I liked her skirt, I said, no, just kidding. This little bitch went. She went and told the teacher, like, oh my God, she said she don't like my skirt. And I immediately get berated by the teacher. Like, instead of the teacher being like, you know, what happened, and, you know, encouraging us to have our own opinions, but to convey those opinions in a nice way, she did not do that. This lady was like, first of all, she forced me to apologize and forced me to tell her that I did like her skirt. Bitch, excuse me? What if I really didn't like that bitch? I didn't like it. Like, who are you to force me to, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, looking back on that, it's like, damn, that's crazy. Like, obviously at the time I didn't realize what was happening, but as an adult looking back on it, it's like, wow. So yes, you have to be careful with these teachers because they be racist as fuck. They be treating these kids some type of way, sending them to the office for the smallest shit, writing them up for
That was my biggest thing, getting sent to the office, writing me up for the most simplest things that they was letting the white kids slide with.
the smallest shit, purposely trying to get them suspended,
Nitpicking.
you know, purposely making it seem like they're a problem kid. I remember when I worked on this military base, and there was this little, he wasn't super bad, but I feel like he was just like any other little 3-year-old boy, you know. He might be doing something, you look at him, he might hurry up and stop. That's not unusual. That's what kids do. And there was this white teacher, and so he was in our class first, and he moved up to her class. And every time this lady would act like he was the worst kid ever, and he was just terrible. And I'm just like, why are you dragging him, trying to make it seem like he's much worse than what he is?
Right.
She would make it seem like he had a 20, whole time he had like a 5 or a 6. And I'm just like, why the fuck is she doing that?
Because it's just in them. It's in them. It is what it is, and I can prove it.
Look at these poor kids. These preschool teachers watched a video of them playing for a 2016 study. The study asked them to press the enter key every time they saw a behavior that could become a potential challenge. But the thing about the study is it's kind of deceptive. There's actually no misbehavior in the video. The kids are actors, and the researchers were using eye tracking software because what they really wanted to know was when teachers expect misbehavior, who are they watching? The study found that both white and black teachers spent more time gazing at black boys than other children. Black boys make up less than a quarter of the nation's preschoolers, but more than 40% of preschool suspensions. The study's lead researcher told the Washington Post that implicit biases don't begin with black men and police. They begin with black preschoolers and their teachers, if not earlier.
Now, I told y'all I was gonna prove it to you. That's what they do. They expect things like that from black kids, so they're over monitoring them, over surveilling them, and things of that nature. And you know what? Another conversation need to be had to the black teachers who do the same thing to black kids and kiss white kids' ass. Like, y'all are even worse to me. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If you that type of teaching, you're black, you got the worst thing coming to you.
Your teacher is probably racist, and here's why. I worked as a substitute teacher for the last year in Chicago from primary school all the way through high school, so I've been into like 30 or 40 teachers' lounges. And when I tell you that every single school I've been into, there has been at least one teacher who is white that is talking shit about their students in the teacher's lounge. And I don't mean just like, oh my God, I am frustrated because these kids aren't respecting me. No. They are complaining about unruly kids, about rowdy kids, about how they look messy, how they're unpresentable, about how those certain types of students are behaving in this way, almost implying that their black and brown students are inherently worse off, behave worse, or are just bad in some way. And it's been equal amounts men and women, but I am shocked every time, because there's always those teachers in the lounge that seem uncomfortable, but they don't say anything. They don't stand up to those people. Our country's racist, so it's not a surprise that our educators are. But if you're like, oh, I think that teacher was racist to me in elementary school, they probably were. Your teacher is...
Yeah, man. You know, if they're racist, they have to have a job most times. So when people be like, yo, racism doesn't exist in certain fields, I'm like, nah, that's not true, because racist people seek employment too. So if you run into them, you will probably be subjected to racism.
Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
He feels so comfortable saying it.
So white is better than all.
No, let me finish.
Go ahead.
I think everybody thinks that. They're just not honest about it.
Hey, I'm not racist though. I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only think that.
Wait, so you said you are what? you are racist?
You're
saying you're like,
I think everybody's a racist at that level.
No, you said you are racist.
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to be honest. No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're racist.
I think I'm slightly telling you something.
Put your phone up.
The thing is this though, none of these kids in the classroom have the capacity to be racist. They can just be prejudiced. They cannot like him because he's white, but he has the power to be racist because he can basically make everyone in this class life a living hell. He can really affect the outcome and the trajectory of their life by his actions, by taking opportunities from them, lying on them, constantly keeping them in the disciplinarian office. He has the power to do that. So he's truly the racist in this situation. So when he said that everybody has racism in them, no, everybody might have a little prejudice in them, but everybody can't be racist, dog, because you are in part of a power structure. And at the moment, you being a teacher and being the students, you're at the head and they're at the tail. It's really that simple, dog. This is crazy.
I don't got no more respect for you. Yeah, for I don't think I got respect for him no more, bro.
You shouldn't. No.
And a Florida mother is furious over the way her son's birthday was celebrated at school. The kid's teacher first sang the original happy birthday song, but then this happened.
Would you like the funny song now that I sing to you? Happy birthday to you. You live in the zoo. You look like a monkey. And you smell like one, two. Woo! Give a clap, everybody.
The incident happened at an elementary school in Polk County near Orlando. The mom says the teacher actually sent her the video, but she didn't think it was funny. She says the song hurt her 6-year-old's feelings. She's now demanding an apology from the school, immediate disciplinary action, and counseling for her child.
I don't like stuff like that. My skin is boiling. I don't even like racism, and to know where we come from and our ancestors. And for us to be labeled like that, because when they call us monkey, they basically saying that we're ugly, we act like a monkey and all this and that. I don't like that at all.
The Polk County Public Schools District says it's investigating the incident. The mother says she plans to transfer her son to another school.
13-year-old Latrell Taft.
You know, that's interesting, man. Being black in America is a truly gaslighting experience, right? They cause all of your suffering and your pain, and then they treat you like they aren't the ones who put you in a position to suffer and be in pain. It just makes no sense, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Beyond excited to wear his new birthday present to school on Tuesday, a t-shirt reading Black King.
I'm a king because I think I'm a king.
But Latrell says during science class at Heartland Middle School, his teacher abruptly changing the subject from the periodic table to asking what his shirt said.
She said that if she had a shirt that said white queen, it would have been racist. Then after that's when she said, like, we need a white history month. And I said, black people don't have enough recognition, and we barely learn about black people, like, in February at my school, so.
Latrell telling News 4 the majority of his class siding with the teacher.
And I was like embarrassed.
Latrell's mom, Melissa Shirley, immediately calling the school.
Initially, to be honest, I was brushed off.
24 hours later, an investigation underway. EPS releasing a statement to News 4 saying if it's determined that the student was the target of discrimination, bullying, or racism, appropriate and swift action will be taken.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that he's wrong, but, you know, being black, we know that there is some things that we can do to make white folks uncomfortable, and an uncomfortable white person is dangerous. So it's like, don't invite that person into your world to mess up what you got going on. For instance, I'll give you an example. There was a dude I saw in a video recently. He was wearing a shirt that had a KKK member hanging from a noose by a tree, and people took offense to that, and they said that shirt was racist, which is crazy because the KKK were the people who were lynching blacks. And he's basically saying like, hey, your power is gone. You are now powerless. That is not a racist thing. Right. So, but it made people uncomfortable. And I think they kicked them out of the store and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, when you're doing this, you just got to know it's going to make them uncomfortable. And are you willing to go down that road? Are you willing to? I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but just know you gonna ruffle some feathers with that, and you better be ready to deal with what comes with that. Straight up, dog. Because these people are professional gaslighters. Is it racist? No, it's not racist that I got a black king on. That doesn't stimulate any racist vibes from anybody with common sense. But when you hear white power, that's always been associated with some racism. White power. Crazy word.
Teacher at a Florida middle school has been taken out of the classroom because administrators learned that she had a side job as the host of a white supremacist podcast. Sarah Seidner has the story.
25-year-old Diana Volatich had one job, teaching social studies to middle school students at this Florida public school. On her off time, she had another passion, sharing white supremacist ideals and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on a public social media website, including her own podcast under the Russian pseudonym Tiana Dolokhov.
Black children are our most valuable possession and our greatest potential resource. Any meaningful discussion of the survival or the future of Black people must be predicated upon Black people's plan for the maximum development of all Black children.
By far, one of the worst things about being a teacher in Chicago.
It goes back to my point a couple of minutes ago. Racist people have to find employment. And guess what? A lot of times they get hired at places where they truly can affect the outcome of Black people's lives. It's crazy. That's true racism.
So I used to work in the school system for a little bit. I used to sub and I used to coach for, a little while. And I'm going to let y'all know right now that some of them teachers,
a lot of them,
they be lying. Yes, your child is getting in trouble for things that they allow other kids to do.
The white ones.
I'm going to tell y'all, they don't like your kid. Like, there's
don't.
some of y'all children that they just don't like and they don't care for. So that's how they treat them. They're mean to them. They're bullies to them. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've had to literally just protect some kids, especially in these white areas. Go check on your children. Go eat lunch with them. Go see how their day is. Just randomly pop up, bring them lunch, do something. Because I'm telling y'all right now, if they calling you every day and shit like that, and you know your child.
Why my child only get in trouble at this school? My child well behaved at church. We go to parties. They don't do nothing crazy. We at the shopping mall. They ain't doing nothing crazy. We at the grocery store. They ain't doing nothing crazy. They only do stuff crazy when they're in your possession, basically, bruh. You're the problem. You're the common denominator. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't have these problems. My kids ain't going to no white school, and I don't give a fuck who offended by that shit. And guess what? That does not mean my kids are going to get a less quality education, because there are schools in New Orleans that are predominantly Black who are excelling and A+ rated. They ain't the easiest schools to get them in, but it can be done if you are intentional about your kids' education.
I had this health teacher, right? He was like one of my favorite teachers. A lot of us, he was like our favorite. His class was so laid back. We got to kick it in there, basically. And it seemed like he was doing it. He did that career for the youth. Like, it seemed like he really cared about the youth. So fast forward almost a decade later to 2020, the Trump era. And a lot of us, we are like Facebook friends with our teachers and stuff from back in high school. The stuff he was sharing, the pro-Trump, the stuff he was saying about Black people and Hispanic people, it's like, whoa, hold on, he ain't cool as I thought he was after all. So I remember commenting one time, and he revealing his colors, and a Black teacher had messaged me, and he was like, hey, he was like that the whole time back in high school when y'all was young. Y'all was just too young to really know what was going on. And at the time, we had a Black principal, the dopest man I ever met in my life. Like, he really did so much for us. And the teacher was telling me, like, remember when Dr. Woo was doing all that and trying to get programs and trying to get these careers set up? He said them white teachers would never help him. Everything and every idea he had, they would not help him. So when we graduated, our Black principal, he bounced too like I'm out. The next year, they got a white principal. And so this teacher's telling me, like, man, they was kissing that white principal ass. Everything he wanted to do, they was front and center. Yes, sir. Anything you need to help. And it's like, bro, we really had no clue. Like, we kind of knew little stuff, because I remember one teacher, his name was Mr. Rodenberg, and I didn't have this class, but everybody else was saying, like, man, he gonna tell the class, Black people good at basketball because they run, steal, and shoot. Like, little stuff like that. Now that we adults, because the OG told me, you don't understand racism, the real racism, until you get out of high school, out of your teen years, and become an adult in the real world. That's when you
shit. My kids do, because I be showing them stuff like this. They know
the real thing. But bro, that was something to trip me out. It came to mind because I unfriended that teacher years back, and he just sent me a friend request, and it's like, yo racist ass. But yeah, I just want to share that.
At the end of the day,
Yeah, bro, this is wild, man. This is the type of stuff that black people deal with when they go to school, though, man. Bro, it just don't make, bro, when you think about it, dog, think about it. You the only black kid in your class. You are literally the nail that sticks out. And like the Japanese say, or at least supposedly, the nail that sticks out gets hammered. You're the odd man out. You're black. They can tell from a block away that you're black. A Hispanic, a white, a Asian, and a black, a block away, you're going to notice the black person first. It's really just that simple. And people are tribal, right? You're not a part of that tribe. You're black. Bro, it isn't. Listen, you didn't go to no all-white school and didn't experience no racism. You're a flat-out liar, bro. I don't believe none of you who say you did, bro. I'm sorry. You went to school with hundreds of white people and never had a racist moment. Yeah, right. I went to school with just a few of them and I had them. So it's like, just make sure you stay on top of your kids and let them know what to look out for, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm going to get at y'all on the next one.